To MET 329 Long Frog Studies. So some of you might not be enrolled in this subject yet, so like you might not be on Student Web, but if you think you're supposed to be here, go to the office after this and like check that you're enrolled and stuff. If someone could like pass around a piece of paper and like everyone just write your name and student number on it, and yeah, that would be the role for now. Cool bananas. All right. Look at this chair here. All right. So, who is Long Frog? What is Long Frog? Well, he's actually a frog who's long. So, scholars pondered for years why Long Frog was long. Where did he come from? Some people say he was, just a mutation of a frog, long egg, long tadpole, long frog. What we know is that he spent a lot of his early life, contrary to what you might read online, he spent a lot of his early life living with his gran in Nunawading. Yeah, not much is known really, because by the time public interest in Long Frog increased, his gran had pretty bad dementia. There's not a lot of records because frogs weren't included on the census before 1958. For some reason, later interviews with Long Frog, he has no recollection of his childhood because of some sort of memory loss that we don't know the cause of. Yeah, Long Frog didn't know why he was long. In fact, he didn't know that he was long because he'd never seen himself in a mirror. He hadn't seen himself in a mirror because mirrors hadn't been invented yet. He didn't see one actually until he was studying abroad at Zurich Polytechnic in 1900. And you might say to me, Liam, mirrors were invented long, long before 1900. They were invented, you know, maybe thousands of years ago, according to Wikipedia. And I'd say, yeah, that is what it says on Wikipedia. You know what else it says on Wikipedia? It says, Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia that anyone can edit. And they use this as a selling point, but I don't know, I kind of see it as a weakness. Like imagine, like, you know, you've got a thermostat in your house and anyone, anywhere in the world can change the temperature on it. Or like, if they did it with other books, like a regular encyclopedia or like Harry Potter. If anybody could edit Harry Potter, every time you picked it up, the like language they used to describe the wands would get more and more suggestive until it wasn't Harry Potter anymore. It was like Harry Potter fanfic, but anyway. Yeah, so Zurich Polytechnic was actually where they invented mirrors, and it was a real happening place, Switzerland, back then. Yeah, nice place. And you know, that's where Einstein was going, so you know it was good. He was there, he was doing experiments in the ether, they were inventing cuckoo clocks, and chocolate and all that stuff. Switzerland, because they do some smart shit, you know. So yeah, mirrors, Vienna, 1900, not what it says on Wikipedia, but I can guarantee you these are the facts. And so, so this was where he was first introduced to a mirror by one of his professors. And it would have gone down, I think, something like this.
Frogman, check this out.
Oh, geez, what is that?
No windows here.
Yeah?
You know how windows look through them, but that's what your eyes already do? And now it's kind of useless.
Really? Go on.
What if there was a window that you could look into and you see stuff that was behind you? That'd be useful, yeah, because your eyes don't already point at it. If you have two of them, every motorbike.
Fuck, wow.
Yeah, check it out.
Gee, is that me?
Oh yeah, that's just a side effect. We're trying to work it out and turn it off.
Why am I so long?
I don't know. We're like that when you got here.
And thus Long Frog became aware of his own longness. And he had to go on a bit of a journey of self-discovery. You know, Switzerland's in the Alps, so he got to go climb a mountain and shit, you know. He went to see a local oracle there, because, you know, mountains, oracles, they got that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was just sort of climbing the mountain and going, who the fuck am I?
Hey, are you the oracle?
No.
Go on.
Where did you come from?
Where did I come
I don't know.
from? So, are you the oracle?
Oh, no, he is.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, I'm a bit busy right now. I'm giving a lecture about you in the future.
oh, but I just climbed up all the way up this mountain.
Yeah, everyone climbs the mountain, mate.
Please, come
Well, you know,
on. What if I give you some food?
yeah, actually that'd be good. The caff's closed.
I've got this sausage roll that's been taped to my back this entire time.
Yeah.
There was no reason why that you didn't see it before because it was.
Yeah, why was it take you back though?
It was taking my back because I wanted to see things to the behind me with mirrors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's absolutely taped, and it wasn't because like technical levels or anything.
Okay, so why? What's a mirror?
Hmm?
Is that new?
Yeah, it's like you can like see yourself in it, or like see things behind you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Be good for motorbikes.
You want it?
Yeah.
So anyway, why am I so long?
All right. So
And where did I come from?
where did you come from? You came from a normal place where frogs come from, like a frog egg that was normal sized, and you weren't long when you were born. Okay. You were made long. Okay, by this cruel man from, I don't know, one of the countries that doesn't win Eurovision.
Which country is that?
Like, there's also, like, you know, San Marino, Estonia, you know, Finland. Oh, actually, no, they won one, so it's still kind of bad every other year. Iceland, they're bad. You just go to bad Eurovision countries. And so,
Where did you come from? Did you fall from heaven? Do they know you're here? Where did you come from? Was it fatal? Outer space or was it
so Luca got it in the idea that he should go travel to Romania based on their poor performances in Eurovision, and maybe also the advice of, I don't know who she was, maybe the Oracle secretary, we're not sure, but he went to Romania. He got actually managed to appear on the 4th season of Who Do You Think You Are on SBS. That's how he afforded the airfares, and you can go back and watch it. It's amazing. It's really heart-wrenching. And they go and they see a hydraulic press in a factory in Romania that was used to press grapes into long grapes. And long grapes, you know, they were Romania's main export at the time. And he was like just stood there, just marveling at this hydraulic press. You know, going like, geez. As it pumped out loads and loads of long grapes, ready to be rolled into cigarette papers and sold in petrol stations all over Eastern Europe, as was the custom. Yeah, he really liked the thing.
What a marvellous machine. But I have no use for long grapes. Grapes generally have a taste appallingly, and I do not have a wife named Olga who craves them during pregnancy. If I only had the money to buy one of these marvellous machines myself, I could make anything long. Things that had never been made long before. Things nobody even knew could be improved by length.
So, having this revelation, he has temporarily abandoned his journey of self-discovery, or maybe he felt an affinity for the press, we don't know. But he went back home, and he put his last 2 shillings on a horse in the Cox Plate. But the horse got sick, and back then they didn't scratch horses. They used to like try and replace it with another animal or something. So they replaced it with a large, ugly, brush-tailed possum. And they put it like a, you know, those Action Man figures on its back as a jockey, but the possum escaped and it maimed 6 people, and it was a whole thing. It was in the papers. Yeah. So like Long Frog, he tried to sue the Moonee Valley Racecourse over this. He said he'd been caused emotional distress, and he wanted compensation for his 2 shilling bet, plus like how much it had upset him, which was actually none because he loved violence, but he lied. So they didn't want to litigate with the frog, so they were auctioning off all this stuff from the W.S. Cox estate. There's W.S. Cox, the late W.S. Cox. He was the guy that invented horse racing. Not on Wikipedia, but fact, okay? He invented, so he had a hydraulic press on his estate, and they were just going to auction it off or something. Long Frog said, you know what, give me it, we'll settle the whole thing. And so his brother Perry helped him repair it. That's Perry. There's an actual photo of Perry. Then he had a hydraulic press, and he was having a great old time. Moved to South Yarra. He was pressing, anything he could get his hands on. He was making little spoons into ladles and making regular hats into top hats, making trees bigger, people taller, turn them into basketballs, footy players. He could do cars, like he could get a regular car and press it into a limousine. He did it himself, like a 1964 Chevrolet Impala limousine, drove it up and down Chapel Street, blocked all the traffic, made all the footy players jealous. And then he got bored.
I'm bored.
He was really bored.
I'm so fucking bored.
Hi, bored. I'm Dad.
Wait, I'm your...
No,
Oh, no. You're from the mountains.
I'm not from the mountains. I was just on the mountain.
No, but see, I said, you're from the mountains, meaning that, that one time that we met on the mountains, that's where I know you from.
Okay. But you're bored, right?
I'm bored!
Because you've pressed everything, right?
Yeah?
You see, your story has reached its logical conclusion. You've lived happily ever after.
Maybe?
But there's an empty feeling inside you. You've pressed every letter in the alphabet, every number and punctuation to our bed. What will you press now? Are you get lost now? Now there's only one thing left to do. The only thing you haven't pressed yet is you. There's surely room for you. It's like
And with that, Long Frog was convinced to get into the hydraulic press and press himself. He pressed himself, even though he'd already been pressed once in his life by a hydraulic press. And he became the first ever double long thing in the universe. Now, double long entities, his mate Einstein from TAFE, from Zurich Poly, he would have told him that double long is a dangerous state for matter to be in. It's it constantly requires energy to keep the molecules that far apart but still together. So what happens when you double length a normal living, like a living thing, is that it immediately gets really, really hungry. And he went around South Yarra and Fran raiding shopping trolleys, I guess. He realised that the best source of energy was actually Nescafe Blend 43, which he became addicted to. And after he'd eaten all of the Blend 43 in all the supermarkets in Melbourne, he saw that it had a sticker on it that said, "Roasted and blended in Gympie, Queensland." So he decided to go there. He just carved a path of destruction. I was like all over, you know, the coast on the way up, just eating all the coffee in all the supermarkets. And it just, when he got to Gympie, the residents had, you know, they'd heard the news on the radio that Long Frog was coming.
You hear that? Long Frog coming.
What's that comment?
We're gonna play. Do you think we're gonna die?
Yeah, probably. He'll kill us all and then eat all of our coffee beans. That's what the report said anyway.
We're all gonna die.
You want to sing a song about it?
Jesus! Where'd you come from?
Definitely not the mountain. We're all gonna die, right?
Yeah.
So, do you want to sing a song about it?
Do we have to?
It's a musical, I guess.
We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die.
But realising they were going to die, the people from Gympie, they decided to air their grievances on each other.
You know what? I've always hated you. You're so annoying. You're the worst, Glen.
Well, you know what? I think your 4 hairy nipples are disgusting. I am sick of you trying to get milk out of them.
How dare you?
There's no milk in there.
I hate you!
There's no milk in there.
Hang on, guys, stop. Wait. We're not gonna die. Look at this Wikipedia page on Long Frog. Under weaknesses, it says he's terrified of Ian Hewitson.
Huey from Healthy, Wealthy and Wise,
Yeah, I reckon we should print out a big picture of him to scare Long Frog away.
Yeah, fuck it, let's go to Office Works. You know what? This might actually work. We might live because of Huey.
That's great. Doesn't that make you want to sing?
Go on then.
We're not gonna die. We're not gonna die. We're not gonna die. We're not gonna die.
Be nice to each other.
Yeah, I didn't mean what I said before. I hear you. You're my best friend, Glen.
Aww, I love you, Eric. And you know what? Your 4 nipples make you unique. I love you.
We're not gonna die. We're not gonna die. We're not gonna die. We're not gonna
Guys, stop.
What?
We are gonna die. Look at the edit history on this Wikipedia article. Long Frog isn't afraid of Huey, he's afraid of Curtis Stone. Fuck!
We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die.
You piece of shit! You could have seen that on the editing.
I fucking tried, alright? What have you done? I fucked this, I've been so much mine!
Thank you.